Hi, Glenn Phillips here with Lake Homes Realty and lakehomes.com. Today I want to talk to you about 6 surprises to know about real estate agents. Now, I got into the real estate industry from a very different type of industry more than a decade ago, and I've learned a lot. And I think some of these things could be interesting to you if you're thinking about buying or selling a property at a lake or anywhere else. The tips still apply. So here's some things I've learned that I hope you'll find interesting. 1, not everyone who is a real estate agent and licensed is a realtor. But realtors are all licensed real estate agents. So how's that? People think those terms are interchangeable. The National Association of Realtors is a trade organization that represents real estate agents. And so a realtor is actually the term of members of the National Association of Realtors, where they may also be required to adhere to a number of things, including one they do need to adhere to, the Code of Ethics. That is not part of what the state real estate commissions require, even though they do have ethics requirements. Confusing? Not. In any event, just because someone is licensed to represent others in buying and selling property, they would be a licensed real estate agent or broker and may or may not be a realtor, not interchangeable. Point number 2, what is the training included for a real estate agent to be licensed? Well, there is a set in each state, the laws vary, and it's usually a set number of hours of classwork. You have to take tests. Sometimes there's additional tests. There can be annual training, continuing education. But most of that training has to do with the legal aspects of real estate, of contracts, of what the laws are that can vary from state to state, what are their state laws. What it doesn't include in the required training typically is negotiation skills, marketing skills for the agent or for your home, how to engage and find clients. Those are things that an agent may or may not do in their own training. They should. But keep that in mind, don't assume that a real estate agent, because they're licensed, is skilled or even educated in the things necessary to either find you and negotiate a great price buying or getting you the maximum return in selling your home. You need to ask. Now, another thing to know that's a surprise is that less than half the agents in this country are full-time. Now, some of them may be very seasoned and be sort of retired and working less, and they've had years of experience. But the industry is filled with people who maybe they've been laid off, or maybe they're wanting a side gig, who've gotten in because the threshold to get into this industry, while it requires work, is not like you're getting a 2 or 4 year or 8 year degree to do this business. It's a very low threshold for a high return. And a lot of people get into this and they do a few deals a year. They may do great with simple deals, though I'm always concerned when I've been involved in transactions if the other agent understands what they don't know. So keep in mind, is somebody really full-time and committed to that job if you're looking for an agent? Another surprise is how many real estate agents are licensed in the U.S. In fact, while the number varies, it's roughly 1 out of 70 U.S. adults holds an active real estate license in this country. It's an astounding number. It'll go up and down depending on how many people are in the industry, and that varies wildly based on the economy. But there's a lot of people out there who hold a license, and that means they can represent other people in a real estate transaction. The next surprise I have for you is the difference between a high-producing agent and somebody who does fewer transactions. In fact, the top 5% of agents in this country land their sellers 10% more proceeds from the sale than all the other agents as a group. You say, well, what are they doing? Well, one, those top agents do a lot more transactions, so they understand their market dynamics better. They've gotten skilled and done the training in almost every instance to be better at marketing, to be better at understanding the data, to be immersed in the technology that can show them information about a market that changes daily. They also may be better at negotiation and pricing strategies. And that doesn't mean that in fact, those agents actually rarely list homes at the highest prices, but it's the end net result that yields them that. Something we found to be true with our brokerage as well, where we actually focused on getting top producing agents instead of an army. And it's, as we've gone through the years with this business, this has proven to be true over and over. It offers better service for buyers and sellers. And our last surprise that people may not know is that if you engage an agent to help you look at houses and you don't have an agreement with them called a buyer's agency agreement, in some states, that by law, without an agreement between you and that agent, they are representing the fiduciary interest of the seller. Now, the nuances are a little bit complicated, but to say the best way to do this is engage a buyer's agency agreement with the agent that's showing you houses and helping you through the process. Now you say, well, I don't want to get locked into a big long contract. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to say, well, I'm going to sign this contract and I can't use anybody else for a year and I don't know you, Mr. or Miss Agent. No, that's not a great idea. One, you need to understand who your agent is. Have you interviewed agents instead of just called a number on a sign? Have you talked to them about their experience so that you're comfortable engaging them to represent you? Secondly, is you can do a buyer's agency agreement for a specific property or a set of properties or a community and not be, as you may feel, confined into a long-term contract that you met with someone you don't know very well. Get to know them. Do the interview. If you're going to do something with us, you need surgery, you're going to think about who's a good surgeon. If you're doing a lawyer, while this is not heart surgery, it is still a financial transaction and there is fiduciary responsibility involved. So consider that buyer's agency agreement as the way to protect you as the buyer and to put your agent in a legal position to be responsible to you. So here are my tips today on how you can look at the real estate market by knowing these surprises. And of course you may have known them all, but in any event, I hope they've been a refresher. If you want some top agents, I got to plug our folks. We do have high producers who are trained on far more than the law requires. You can find them at lakehomes.com, along with tens of thousands of properties that are for sale right now on lakes across the country. Whether you want to compare the property you own to the market or you're looking to buy, you can find them there. I hope these surprises have been interesting, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. For more information, be sure to check out lakehomes.com.